right? These are all examination questions. I think they are a bit difficult as well. So let's go through one at a time, right? Okay. So the cell, okay, I got Imashi's marks as well. Let me share Imashi. I'm not worried about your marks, so that's okay, because I told you, like every time, you should not worry about your marks. If you get low marks, that means this is where you are, and you should, improve yourself. Maybe we could practice more. So link is there. So if you want to try out again and again, link is open. So you can save the link. Time to time, you can try without looking at the answers, right? You can keep on improving yourself, right? So let me discuss the answers first. Ivanka, the problem is I parak උත්තර ටික mark කරගෙන පුතේ reload කරලා ගන්න. Okay. So let's start the discussion. The cell C4 contains formula $A, $3. Sorry, $A, $2 plus A3. Which of the following will be displayed? The formula is copied to cell A5. Right? Cell A5. So A4 is this. Right? So what we have is in A4, we have what? Equal $A, $2 plus A3. Then we are going to copy to A5. That means we are going one line down, right? So that means when you have dollar, no change for A. When you go down, what will happen? Row should be changed. Since we have 2, there's no change, right? That means we need A4, isn't it? So $A, $2 is 2 plus, isn't it? $A, $2 is 2. And then A4. What is A4? 2, 4, 6. So we have 6, right? We have 6. That means, right? Answer should be 2 plus 6 is 8. Majority of your answers are correct, right? Good. So about 94% of your answers are correct. So it's good. Right. Let's move to the next one. So the formula sum A to B4. Written in cell C2. Which of the following, right? Which of the following will be written in cell C3 if C3 copied to C3? One row you go down, which means you have to increase a row by 1. So that means answer should be equal sum A3 and B3. Okay. So that's also, everybody got the correct answer for this one. That's the easy one. Okay, now let's look at this one. We have given a spreadsheet. What is the correct formula to be written in cell A? It should be 5, right? Not AS. To display the largest number, right? To display the largest number, in cell range A1 to B4. What do you mean by largest number? Maximum, right? So it should be largest number, not the number of cells. So many of you actually make a mistake by putting a count there, but it should be max. So it should be max between A1 to A4. Now remember, if you put count, what will happen? It will count the number of, yes, is a number of cells with numerical values. So one is incorrect. Okay, Tivanka, I got your marks as well. So I will be sharing with Tivanka now. Thanks, and sorry about that. When I made it, like I had a difficulty. Right. So that's the answer. And most of you have got the correct answer for this one as well. About 80% of the class got the correct answer. Then question number 18. What is the formula to be written in B5 to display number of entries in cell range A1 to B4? Number of entries. Yes. When you say number of entries, it should be count, isn't it? So the answer is count A1 to B4. Okay, good. The next one. Right. So remember that when you are like answering a question like this, you have to think about, right, the precedence. Now this is the hat mark is 2 to the power of 5 plus 16. So we know 2 to the power 5 means how much? Yes, 2 into 2 into, that is 4, 8, 16 and 32, right? So this should be 32 plus 6. Right? Okay. So 32 plus 16, the answer should be 48. And again, majority of you got the correct answer for this one as well. So they were about like, right? They have about 85% actually got the correct answer. Good one, this one as well. Right. Then let's move on to the next question. This is from 2016 paper. Right? This is also a bit difficult one. Okay, so question says, which of the following will appear in cell C3? I think that there's a problem with the question itself. So it says, which of the following will appear C3? If the formula A1 to B3 enter C3, okay, I think question is okay. Right, formula is count A1 to B3. So when you say A1 to B3, so which means this whole range. right? Whole range. And we say count. Remember, I told you count means it will count number of cells with numerical values, right? So this whole range, right? This whole range, this is the whole range. But remember, this one is not counted because it's empty, right? It's empty. So that means the total number is, right? දහිමි තාම ආවේ නෑ ඔයාගේ මං හිතන්නේ. බලන්න සෙට් කරාද හරියට කියලා. මම හිතන්නේ අනික් අයගේ නම් හරි හැමෝගෙම නේද? ආය පාරක් අරගෙන බලන්න දහිමි කමක් නෑ. Try one more time. So this one, so this is not counted. So that means the answer should be the fifth one, right? Again, about 70% of you got the correct answer, not 6. I think I have repeatedly told this to you earlier as well. Okay, so it was a good question. Right, let's move to the next one. This was a bit difficult for everyone. Now, when you say the cell containing formula sum A1, A2, which of the following appear if cell B3 is copied to cell B3? So A3, we have this. What do you have? A3. Now let's take. In A3, we have this. What is A3? We have A3, we have what? Equal sum of $A1 to A2. And we are copying this to B3. Right? When you go to a column, we know that now this is going from what? A3 is here and copying this to B3, right? So what will happen? So this becomes, right, we have some $A will not change because you can't change. But A2 becomes B2, isn't it? A2 becomes B2. So what that means? Sum A1 to B2 this time. So sum A1 to B2 means summation of A1 to B2. So that means this whole range, isn't it? A1 to B2. Right? So that means 1 plus, we have 1 plus, 2 plus, 4 plus 5. Right? That means 9, 11, 12. So the answer should be 12 in this particular case. So I think that is also a good question. About half of the class got the correct answer. So I understand the issue here, but you can see it's a very good question. Okay. Now let's move to the next one. This is from 2017. Right. Consider the following statements regarding a task carried out on a spreadsheet file in a folder by right-handed user. Right. First one, it says place the mouse point on the file and single click the right button. And B, place the mouse point in the double click the right button and place the mouse point to the file and double click the left mouse button. So to open the spreadsheet file, this is actually not a question from the spreadsheet, but anyway, right? To open, we know you have to double click. So the answer is C only. That means this is wrong. Right mouse will not do anything. So only third one is correct. Answer is C only. This was a bit difficult question for the class. About only 50% of the class got it correct answer. Right. The next one. Okay. This is a good question, right? But majority of you got the correct answer, but let me start from the beginning. So we have to simplify. This is 2 to the power 3. Hat mark is the power, or we call it exponentiation. So 2 to the power 3 plus 5 minus 3, right, into 6 divided by 4. So this is the question. So first of all, you have to work on the brackets. So the first step would be, I will work on inside the brackets. So 5 minus 3, that means it will be 2 multiplied by 6 divided by 4, right? And then when you have power of it, you have to work on the power. 2 to the power 3 means 8 plus, right, 2 into 6 divided by 4. And then we know when you have addition, multiplication and division, multiplication, division is the same, but we'll go from left to right. Remember, if we have the same precedence. So we can say 8 plus 2 into 6, that is 12 divided by 4. Right? So then 8 plus, then the division, 12 divided by 4, that is 3. So you should get 11. Right? Again, this is good question, and most of you got the correct answer as well. Okay, good one. So let me move on to the next one. This is question 2017, question number 16. Okay, circumference of a circle can be calculated using 2 phi r, where r is the radius of the circle. Assume that the phi is given in cell C2, right? So radius given, phi is given, we are supposed to find out the circumference. Right. Now, how do you write it, right? So let's start. So in this particular case, we know that is 2 phi r, right? 2, let's see, pi, I will say pi r. So this is what I want to type. Now, the simplest way to type is 2 into where the pi is, right? Let me put C2 for the time being. This is not the correct answer. Radius in A2. But you know that if you copy to these two second line, what will happen? C2 becomes C3, and there's no value for C3. A2 becomes A3. So we know that we need to fix what? Yes, we need to fix C2, right? So we can put a dollar. Sorry, 2. That means we should put a dollar here, right? Okay, this is the correct answer. But if you look at it, we don't have this answer there. But remember, right? You can fix this one as well. There's no harm by fixing this one, right? So this is same as putting here as well. So the answer should be the first one, right? So we need to fix only row only. But in that case, you can fix both, because when you copy down, it won't change. You will get the same answer, right? So the correct answer for this one is the first one. Again, that was correct for most of you. It's also a very good question. Right. Let's move to here. Which of the following appear in A6? Right? If the formula sum A2 to A5 divided by count A2 to A25 and find it cell A6. Right? So let's go back. So what we want to find out is, right? We want to get sum A to A5. A2 to A5, right? Okay, so I will write down. We have sum A2 to A5 divide by count A2 to A5, right? So summation we know we have to add 20, 21, 25, 22, right? So that is 88, isn't it? So we have 88. Divide by count. Count A2 to A5. Count means number of cells A2 to A5. All are numeric ones. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 4. So the answer should be 22, right? So about 70% of the class got the answer correct. Right, let's move to the next one. Okay, it's from 2018. We have question number 13, question number 13 and 14. It's based on the spreadsheet. Okay. So the question says the values of y. So we have P, we have Q, we have R. And we have an equation called Px square plus Qx plus R. X values are given. Remember last time when we draw the graph, we did a similar thing. But here we have given the values, right? So the equation is Px square, right? So that means in this one, what we need to try is, let me take this one. So we need to type P square, right? So we need to write what? I will type it in first like this, P into X square. Right? So that means either we can use hat 2, right? And then plus Q into X plus R. This should be the answer. Right? If I put cells where P is in D1, isn't it? It's in D1 multiplied by X is in C2. X is in C2. You can say 2 plus Q is in B2. Right? Into we have C2 plus R means B3. Right. So this is the answer. But the problem is if you try to copy down, PQR will change, right? So because of that, we have to fix. So how do you fix row? We can put a dollar. So here also we can put a dollar. Here also we can put a dollar. Right? So if you look at exact same answer, I don't think you can find anywhere. So it's not there, but slight change would be give us the answer. So for example, in this particular case, we can rewrite this is c square. C square means we can say, okay, b $1 into c2 into c2 plus b $2 into c2 plus b $3. Now you see, there's no harm putting a dollar in front of b as well, because when you copy down, no change. So the easiest way to put is putting a dollar here as well. Right? So which is the first one is the correct answer. Okay, first one is the correct answer. In all the other ones, there are some mistakes. Right? So this question was a difficult one. About 40% of the class actually got the correct answer. Let's move. This is question number 14 in 2018. Assume that you have copied formula D2, formula in D2. So this one, right, to get D3 to D6. Now question asks, what is in D7, right? What should be written in, we get the highest value. So that was the easy one. So getting highest value means max. You can say D2 to D6. So that is actually correct about 85% of the time. Okay, so the next one. Again, simplifying this one. So I will take, right? So we have to say 6 minus 2 into 2 plus 5 plus 4 divide by 3. So you know the brackets we need to finish first. So I will start with the first bracket, 6 minus 2, that is 4 into 2 plus, okay, we'll do this bracket as well, 9 divided by 3. So in single shot, I have removed the brackets. Then to the power, 4 to the power 2, that means 4 into 4, this should be 16 plus then 9 divided by 3. The next iteration, you have to divide 9 divided by 3, that is 3, right? Should be 9. Okay, so about 80% of the class got the correct answer. Good. So the next one, consider the cell range given in A3 to A4 in a spreadsheet. Which of the following are included in this range? When you say A3 to A4, so the simplest would be you can type if you are like kind of a confusing. So we know that when you say A, B, and then C, then we have 3, and then we have 4. So these are the possibilities, because we are saying that, okay, C3 to A3 to C4. So which means it should include everything in between, isn't it? Everything in between. So make a like this. So then we know that it should include A3, B3, C3, A4, B4, C4. Ranges, I think we have done earlier as well, but it's good that you understand this one. That was a good question. Okay. Next one. So this was actually a bit difficult for many of you, right? So let's see the answer. So this is the difficult question, it seems. Not that I think this is difficult. I think it because of the percentage value, I guess, right? Okay, let me start. Now, what do we have to do? what would be displayed in cell C3? Cell C3, that means here. Let me see what will happen, right? That's the question. C3. So let's see. Now, what we have the formula written in C2. So what I'm going to do is in C2, we are going to have what? This one. What is B2 into $5, right? So when you say $5, what is B2? So B2 is in C2, right? And now what will happen? C3. Now, first of all, we have to get C3. What is C in C3 then? So you go one line down. So that means B2 becomes B3 and B, there's no change, $5. So that means what is B3 now? B3 is 60,000. So we have 60,000 into $5. So that means 0.1. I think most of you have this issue. So if you have 60,000, 0.1 means you just simply can divide by 10 when you multiply and see. So what you should get? Yes, you should get 6,000, isn't it? Simplify and see. So this is nothing to do with ICT, right? So we have a 60,000 multiplied by 0.1. So we are getting this answer. Okay. So the answer is 6,000 and we got only about 38%. Right. Okay. Now I got the answer for Prabhashi as well. I will share the Prabhashi's marks. So it's good that you got these answers, right? And a majority of you are okay. Some of you had some issues. So you can try out, right? No harm. Okay, having said that, let's start the next lesson. I'll be having like a couple of more questions, essay questions, right? Next week. So we will do that, right? Okay, so let's move on. Let me stop sharing. Right. Let's move to the new one. I will start with the lesson. So the next lesson we are going to talk about is presentation, right? And I hope many of you are very familiar, but let me discuss some of the things that you need for the examination as well, right? So let me go to the note first and let me share. Right. So this time you don't have to, take down the notes. I will provide you, but you have to draw some of them, right? But let's look at in details, right? Okay. So the lesson that we are going to discuss today, let me take a whiteboard. You can take down these. So let's take down electronic presentations. Right. We'll start with a new one. So I'll be sharing my window. Let's take down electronic presentations. Electronic presentations, right? Okay, so we know in presentations, especially when you present something to an audience, we can make use of software, right? So for example, if you are presenting yourself without anything, like let's say you are trying to teach some science content to an audience. So sometimes very difficult to, explain it to the audience without graphical representations like use of images, videos, and so on. Now, even with the lockdown, we see, if you have experienced online teaching and learning, many um, presenters prefer online presentations, right? The idea is like if you use, we normally used to say, right? Instead of have 1,000 words, you can have an visual, right? Same goes here as well, isn't it? So we can say the electronic presentations, they can be used to deliver content to an audience effectively. We can present something in an effective manner. We can present them in a various different ways. We can use graphics, isn't it? Presentations is always you have a lot of graphics, right? And you can have videos, right? So when you're presenting, you can do a lot. Okay? So you can have nice colors, graphics, isn't it? We can have nice colors, graphical presentations there. We can have presentation layout. Especially in education, we can make use of this, right? Graphical elements. Now, for example, if you are in a business organization, right, you can provide, the details using a lot of graphs, isn't it? Right. So there are various ways nowadays we can provide the users, right, in a graphical manner. So this is interesting. So let's take down electronic presentations can be used to deliver content to an audience effectively. This is useful in many situations such as presenting lessons for education, advertising, new product, promotion, invention, and so on. Right? So you can have very colorful slides, right? You can use many colors to present something to an audience and they will love it, right? And you can have videos, you can have interactions, you can have a lot of graphics, right? To reflect what you are presenting. Right? Yeah. So you can use graphical elements to represent what you want to explain to the users, isn't it? Yep. You can do that. Right. So we can have nice colors, we can have videos, we can have interaction, you can, connect with the audience, and then you can have animations, right? You can have changing images, right? So that's possible. So this is really, interesting ways that we can have, slides when you're creating. There are a lot of, presentations that you can see. Nice colors and theme of colors, not many colors. Now, if you see here, it's about like 2 to 3 colors. Even the fonts are the same. Now here, a lot of graphics, statistics are there. And here also very simple colors, like about 3 colors I have been used for the presentation. So likewise, you need to think of, right? Yes, Malidu said we can have music. Yes, definitely. I forgot that one. Good, Malidu. We can have, music. Okay, so let's move to look at like what software we have. There are like a lot of software available. Like now, one of the things we are going to look at is PowerPoint, which is proprietary software. We can have Microsoft PowerPoint, and this is exactly what we are going to use in this. This is what we are going to use. We have, PowerPoint presentations. And then you can create nice slides. Right? So I hope you are already familiar with the, PowerPoint. So this interface that we are going to discuss in the class, and you start, slide like this. Yeah. So that is PowerPoint. There are many others as well, right? If you want to look at like few more, like free and open source, because PowerPoint is proprietary. You can write down if you want, this is proprietary. But if you need free and open source, maybe you can go for OpenOffice versions, right? So OpenOffice. It looks the same, right? You have a different logo. So here is the logo. So logo looks like this, but the interfaces were the similar, right? Not much change, although many will not prefer it. But if you go for, if you don't like the pirated versions, right, it's very similar to, right, this. So similar one is LibreOffice Impress as well. Thanks, Jonah. Yes, we have similar to LibreOffice as well, similar one, right? So that is also possible. You can also create nice presentations. You will have the similar interface like in PowerPoint. Not all the features are available. So one presentation software is MS PowerPoint, right? And then we can have OpenOffice, Impress. Malindu said Corel presentation, yes. Yonal said, okay, Google's right, yes. We can make use of those. Okay, so let me put another one. In Mac operating systems, we have Apple Keynote, right? So Apple versions, we have Keynote, Apple Keynote, it says. Let's take down this one, Apple Keynote. So Apple software, we have Keynote. It's again presentations, creating presentations. So you will get the logo is something similar to this one. In Apple, you will see this. And it's really nice presentations. Because you know, Apple is quite popular for graphics. So you have like, you know, different ways of presenting. It's nice, it's elegant. The presentation slides were like this. You get a simple interface like this. And then there are a lot of templates. Right? For example, it's different from PowerPoint. It's not really like PowerPoint. You can have slides, but graphically, visually, there are a lot of changes you can observe in Apple Keynote. They have optimized for graphics anyway. Okay, and then let's look at some more like Beamer. We have another one called Beamer, right? If you have not heard about it, this is actually used in especially in academia, in universities. If you look at university presentations, the Beamer is again free and open source version. Right? So presentations are slightly different. So let me show you like a couple of them. The interface looks like this, the front interface. I also used a lot of Beamer in my presentations. Not with you guys, but you know, in the university when I'm presenting something. In Beam, actually, you know, Beam is actually LaTeX based one. You can have very nice, interesting mathematical equations with Beam. So if you have a lot of mathematical content, right, then you can use Beamer easily. So I know that in Word we have equation editors, but It's very powerful. It's very powerful. You can have a lot of mathematical expressions in Beamer, very complex ones, complex equations. So if you have like a lot of equations, very complex ones, you can use with Beamer. So it's quite popular with the scientists, right? This is quite popular with the scientists, scientific community. If you look at places like NASA, Google, when they are present, their presentations, they present using Beamer a lot. You can find out. And in Beamer also, you can have a lot of colors as well, although it looks blue here. A lot of graphics, you can use it, right? And there's no logo as such for Beamer, but simply it's based on LaTeX. LaTeX, the word LaTeX, I will show you, like you can search if you're interested. If you're interested, so this is actually LaTeX base, right? So like in Word, so this is a different ways of formatting it. For example, I used to type all these my research papers using LaTeX. Quite interesting one. Okay, last one for today. You can search more. If you're interested, I can actually share you some material as well. Then we can have Google Slides. So we can also have Google Slides, cloud-based software, which means you don't have to install it. Remember, cloud-based, you can use anywhere you want, right? Using any device, not like in other presentation software. And then you can have a lot of themes as well, right? And it's free, right? Google Slides, also free. Okay, I think that's enough for today. So what we have just discussed is the presentation software. We look at some examples. So the next week we can actually look at spreadsheet. So I think we will be able to finish it by next week.